Radio SAW.
Stars hautnah. Das Radio SAW Interview.
So, we have Matt Simons in the studio in Radio SAW. Hello, Matt.
Hello, guten Morgen. Or sorry, one more
Guten
time.
Tag.
Guten Tag. It's morning now, but maybe it won't be morning when it airs.
It doesn't matter, but it's okay. Do you speak a little bit German?
Not really, but I'm going to give this a try, these IDs a little bit later. You're going to teach me.
I will help you. No problem. So we need to know, you're for the first time here in Magdeburg in our radio station.
First time.
So that means we have to talk about a lot of things.
Okay.
In which age did you know I want to be a musician? I want to make the people happy with my voice.
A great question. Maybe 12 years old. Young. I think that it was either that or baseball. Those are the two options. And I think I made the right choice.
Me too. You studied jazz and saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was it a good foundation for being a singer-songwriter? What do you think?
It was great. I feel like the more tools you have in your tool belt as a musician, the better. I can draw from that whole musical education, and it was just fun to learn more than I need now. I feel like the challenge after learning jazz, getting into being a singer-songwriter was, okay, how do I simplify things now? I've got this, more complex music that I was playing. Like, how do I make something with just 3 chords?
Okay. So, what we need to know, what kind of music did you hear as a teenager?
It was a little bit of everything. I mean, I did listen to a lot of jazz. I listened to a lot of pop music. I love like bluegrass and folk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just, kind of everything.
Okay. And what was the first concert you ever joined?
That I ever went to? Mm-hmm. It was John Fogerty.
John Fogerty.
Of Creedence Clearwater Revival, of course. And opening was the Proclaimers. Wow. So I got to hear I would walk 500 miles.
Yes.
I would walk 500 more. Yeah.
We love that song.
To be a man that walks 1,000 miles.
So, you're here in Germany, and I think it's not for the first time in Germany. Would you say you have a special connection to Germany?
I think so. I mean, it's always, one of the first places I come when I come to Europe, and I love working here. I've gotten to do a lot of fun concerts here and festivals, and Night of the Proms last year, or 2 years. Wow, was it 2 years ago now? In 2022 was a real treat. Just arenas all over the country. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. I love it.
And you spend so much time here. And I need to ask, do you know some German words apart from Guten Tag and Guten Morgen?
Some food. I can read a little bit and understand. It's tough to say it, but I can understand a little bit, and I can read a little bit. Which I'm going to do later.
Okay. So, what's your favorite German food?
I'm not going to say schnitzel. That's too easy of an answer.
Everybody says that.
Everyone says schnitzel. Yeah. I actually love, maybe it's more Austrian, but like the blood sausage is really, I don't know, there's something primal about it that I enjoy. If I see it on a menu, I will always order with the potatoes and blood sausage. Yeah, I'll order that if I see it on a menu. I don't know if is that Austrian? Is that a German thing or?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Later, we will talk about the brand new single. For the first, I need to know, you've been a coach for the X Factor in the Netherlands.
Oh, sure.
How came that about?
It was a long time. That was I guess over 10 years ago. Yeah. I was really just one episode where I got to show up and coach a couple of the kids that were doing it, and I'd never done anything like that, and it was fun to be. I had, like, years and years and years ago, I auditioned for American Idol, and I did not get very far. So it was fun to be on the other side of it, judging people. Much, much, much better.
Okay, so what do you think about talent shows generally?
It really depends, I think, on the show. I feel like sometimes the talent shows tend to make it more about the judges than they do about the contestants. And then even if you win the show, you still don't necessarily have a career afterwards because they focus so much on the, celebrity judges. Whereas a show like, American Idol in America made a lot of stars. Yes. You've got your Kelly Clarkson and your Philip Phillips and your Jennifer Hudson, like people who are real. And then you've got a show like The Voice where it's been on for 20 years and there really aren't that many people that that won that show. So I think it depends.
Okay. Let's talk about golden records. If you could choose, what would you rather have? A golden record in Germany or a golden record in the USA?
I feel like if you have a gold record in the USA, it's a little bit more likely that you'll also have a gold record in Germany, and it doesn't necessarily work the other way around because I've had gold records in Germany and I have never had one in the US, so I guess I'll pick the US for that one.
Okay. So, above you are successful in Europe. Do you have an explanation for that here in Europe?
It was about 11 years ago now when I had a song of mine featured on an episode of a Dutch television show. In Holland, they call it goede tijden, slechte tijden. I think you guys have goeden tijden, good times, bad,
schlechte Zeiten.
Good times, bad times. Good times, bad times. And I was living in New York. I put out a record just independently. I didn't have label, didn't have management, didn't have any help, but a song of mine got put on a TV show that show in the Netherlands, and then overnight it just became this viral hit. So from there, I was able to have a career in the Netherlands for a couple of years, and then releasing new music like Catch and Release, which ended up going sort of all over Europe. So I think because it started in the Netherlands, it just sort of spread from there. And that's maybe why I've been able to find audience here in Europe.
Yes, and Catch and the Release, it is such a large hit, yeah? We played it from the beginning until now, every single day.
Wow.
People love that song.
Well, thank you.
And the others too. Okay, so all the covers of your records, are very artful. Do you design them yourself?
No, I hire professionals to do that. I'm not much of a visual artist or a graphic designer. That takes a special skill, and I worry about our graphic designers. They seem to be getting replaced by AI. It's one of the first careers that is sort of being killed by artificial intelligence. But I won't be using AI covers. I'm going to get real people to design my covers.
Okay. When we check your homepage, we can read no upcoming shows at the moment. When you're going on tour again, and what can we expect?
I think I'll be going on tour in the fall. Not confirmed. It might be next year. I've got, I'm busy. This year's busy for other personal reasons, so I don't know that I'm going to be coming back too much. But if I release an album, I think we might be doing some... Maybe it might just be small shows. Could be just like solo, kind of acoustic. It'd be fun to get back to that after doing, band, Clinton Club shows for so many years. Sort of get back to where I started.
Sounds interesting. And there's a lot of Matt Simons merchandising. It looks great. What sells best?
The best selling, maybe the sweatshirts. They sell pretty well. And the vinyl. Vinyl is always good. Even if people don't have a record player, it feels like a fun collectible thing to have.
Yes, and with all these fantastic covers. You are from California, but you're living in New York. I really understand it? Is it right?
I was living in New York for 10 years, and now I'm back in California. I live in Los Angeles, and it's good to be back. I'm a California boy at heart, and always have been, so it's good to be back.
What was the reason to go to New York for your inspiration, or?
Yeah, I went to music school in New York, and that was, New York is certainly the jazz capital of the world. So when I was studying jazz and playing jazz, New York's the place to be. And then I started making more singer-songwriter pop music, and LA is kind of the place to be for that. So I'm back now.
So we know so many songs from you. So many songs. Better Tomorrow, After the Landslides, Catch and Release, and we played it all, right?
Wow.
Now you have a new single. It's A Week in the Knees.
Yes.
What is the song about?
Week in the Knees is about if you can look back, try and remember your first really intense crush when you were a young lad. Mm-hmm. That feeling that, I feel like as you get older and the world beats you down a little bit more, you learn more, and that's tough to get that intensity of feeling. So I tried to tap into that from all those years ago.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember your first love? How old you've been?
I can remember the first love that I had. I don't remember like first crushes though. It was sort of like it changes every week. When you're young, you're like, oh wow, she smiled at me. Now I love her. Well, before you really know what it means.
Okay, I need to know which star would give you heart palpitations when she or he shows up at your concert.
Ooh, good question. Who shows up? Maybe like a Bruno Mars. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the greatest performers of our time. I remember the Super Bowl show that he put on where he plays the guitar and he's got that incredible voice and songwriting, and he sits down in the drums and he plays the drums. He's a star.
A real star, yes. And there was a teasing video for the new song with some good old Nokia handies or smartphones, right? So it's really nostalgic. What's your current cell phone?
My current cell phone is an iPhone. I'm an Apple boy. I like the text got to be blue. You know what I mean? Yeah. Green text. I had it for years, and I went iPhone, and I never went back.
Okay. So on Instagram, you have always dogs in your story.
Yes.
Would you say dogs are always the best friends? What means dogs to you?
Dogs are always the best friends to have. They, I would have a dog, but my wife and I have a different kind of pet, which is a human child. We have to take care of him. And I think eventually we'll get a dog, but we've got our work cut out for us right now.
And we can see too, you love sunsets. What is that about?
I think it's it's the best show. It's the best show there is to watch, and it happens every day. Just something pretty, something to put on the internet that is not very controversial, just sort of hopefully helps me relax, maybe can help other people relax.
Our morning show, they have some questions for you.
Great.
If you think about all the songs in the world, which song would you like to have produced?
Ooh, of all, that's a tough one. Do you go Stevie Wonder? Do you go Beatles? Do you go something more modern? I love Jeff Buckley. Mm-hmm. There's a song called "Lover, You Should Have Come Over," and I used to play that one in concerts, and it's just the most beautiful song, just so purely emotional. I'll choose that one.
Okay, and which song makes you always happy, brings you always in a good mood?
September, Earth, Wind and Fire. La-di-da. My son calls that song OEO. He thinks they're saying body but he's saying, well, I want to listen to OEO, which means September.
Yeah. And what was the last concert you attended?
The last one I went to see Brandi Carlile at the Hollywood Bowl with special guests Annie Lennox and Joni Mitchell, which was pretty special.
That's music.
Yeah.
And how can we imagine a typical Matt Simons Sunday?
Typical Sunday? I eat pretty chill. I'll usually take my son. We'll go to a park. We'll take a nice long walk around the neighborhood and go to a park. I just taking it easy on the weekend, just sort of hanging out. Maybe have some friends over. You call it Sunday Fun Day. Have some friends over for dinner. Yeah, take it real slow.
We need to talk about your name. Your name is Matt.
Yes.
In German, Matt is another word for minced meat.
I've had this sandwich before.
Okay.
Some raw pork, right?
Do you like minced meat?
It's good. It's along the lines of like the blood sausage, that it's something primal about eating raw meat. That's just like, it taps into some animal part of your brain that it's enjoyable.
Okay. We just know you with a cap. Why do you always wear a hat or a cap?
Accessories are nice. It's good to accessorize. Maybe I should get some earrings too, or so I got a necklace, and it's it completes the look usually.
Okay, our morning show needs to know something else. How can we imagine a typical Matt Simons morning?
Well, it used to be that I would wake up whenever I want, nice and late. I love to sleep in and stay up late and sleep in. That's how I'm wired. But since I became a dad, I'm up at 7 or earlier. So the typical morning is, waking up, feeding my son breakfast, getting him out the door to school. So it's changed a little bit over. Like it used to be 11 a.m. get out of bed, have a cup of coffee, real loose.
Okay, so describe your perfect breakfast if you have time.
The perfect breakfast. I mean, a really good cortado or flat white is very, very important. And then probably perfect breakfast, because eggs and bacon is a go. Get some protein in the morning, very important. But if I'm cheating, I'm getting something really delicious, maybe like a waffle. I love a waffle. There's this waffle recipe that my mother's made since I was a young boy, and it requires that you let the dough or the batter rise overnight. And something about that, those waffles really hit.
No, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So, I think it's an interesting question. Do you know in which city you are in?
Magdeburg?
Yes, Magdeburg.
I was in the Domplatz this morning, taking a walk, getting a coffee, and I posted it on my Instagram story, and the location came up as Magdeburg. Otherwise, I might not know where I was.
Okay, we need to know, how do you stay fit? Do you do sports?
I like to run. I like to, like some body weight exercises, do some yoga, do some push-ups. I'm not really a gym guy. I don't love going to the gym. It's just it's not my vibe. But if I can get outside, if I can hike, if I can take a long walk, if I can jog, it's my preferred type of exercise.
So, and when will you come back with the whole new album?
Maybe September. September, October. Do something after summer. It's already done, so I maybe we should just do it right now.
Okay.
Let's release it. Let's call the label.
We wish you luck with the new single. Weak in the Knees. Matt Simons, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Radio SAW.
Das Radio SAW Interview.